Hello, everyone. Welcome to this fresh episode of Listen to Young Minds. We always try to bring in front of you the different topics, the different episodes, and different versions of students' perspective. And similarly, in that effort, today we are going to discuss about a very important topic that is digital age, because we are living in a digital era now. That's a digital revolution. But its impact on the mental and psychological conditions of our youngsters. But before we dive deep into this discussion, is it actually an important topic to discussion? Because everywhere, everybody is talking about that the students are getting negatively affected by this digital world. But before we start this discussion, I just want to ask one question to all of you. Whenever we talk about any information, there are two sides of information. The one by which we perceive the world, perceive the things, and the second, the thing is actually is. You can just remember the mirage condition in the extreme summer season. You are just driving on a road and you see the water is in front of you. Your phenomenal knowledge, that is the jnana, it's telling you there is water. But the nominal knowledge, which is the actual knowledge, which is the vijnana, it tells you that it is nothing, but it's the reflection of light. So, are we doing any mistake in understanding this digital era, this digital technology and digitalization? Or is it actually impacting the minds of our youngsters in a negative manner? This is the topic of discussion. That's the reason we thought of discussing this topic in detail with all of you. And one of the interesting part of this discussion today, that's a long discussion, very extensive and heavy discussion. So this entire episode would be broadcasted in two segments because it's a pretty long discussion. So stay tuned for this discussion and enjoy every piece of information because we are going to discuss the pros and cons both. And to discuss this heavy conversation, we have today with us a young, talented girl, Miss Sanika. So let's welcome our guest of the podcast today, Sanika. So, hello everyone. I'm so excited to discuss this long discussion with Sanika today. We are going to touch upon various points of digital aspects, that is, the digital era, digital transformation, its effect, pros, cons, many things. But before we start this discussion, I believe that you all need to know that who is this young girl who is sitting in front of me. So, I request Sanika, please introduce yourself first, and then I'm going to ask you so many questions.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me, Dr. Bansal. I am Sanika Chandratre. I am in 11th standard right now. I am preparing for PCM, which is the 12th standard engineering exams, and I'm hoping to do engineering in the future.
Great. So aspiring engineer is sitting in front of us, and she's gonna talk about the digital transformations, its pros and cons. Perfect. So, Sanika, the first and direct question to you. We all know that we are living in the digital age. That's a digital era. And probably everybody's thinking that the way now we are communicating and interacting with each other, there has been a major role of technology and this digital world. So, can you just throw some light on this aspect that how this communication and interaction has changed with the incorporation of digital and tech era?
Yeah. So because of this new digital age, which is the information age right now, everything has changed around us. Everybody right now is using AI in their life somehow or the other. Whenever we scroll on the internet, whenever we go onto social media, so many aspects of our lives have changed without us even knowing. Since 1980s, Google, Twitter, Facebook, Netflix, all of these platforms came into our lives. And then as we started using them, without us even knowing, we've grown into them. So our communication and interaction with technology has really changed without us even realizing it. It's very flawlessly integrated into our lives. So keeping up with the world right now has become such a big source. In case of any doubts we have while doing our work every day, as a student, whenever I have a doubt, my first instinct is to Google it. I never think about asking my teacher or asking anybody else right now because it's become such a big part of our lives that it is very flawlessly integrated. Even if I want to create awareness about some cause, Recently, I've joined an organization which is an NGO, Zeal, in order to create awareness about anybody who's striving poverty and wants to get out of it. So my first instinct in order to raise money for them was to get it onto social media. So this integration into our lives, which we didn't even realize was going on, but it happened so flawlessly. And the next generation will look at it as something which was always in their lives. For those who've seen the transformation from not even having a phone in their own home to having a smartphone in every pocket, is what is really changing right now. So that is how our interaction with technology has really changed.
I can easily correlate with your answer when you say the people who have seen this change. So I belong to that era. I have seen that for long dialing phones, then the number dialing phones, and
Yeah,
from that era, I am seeing that I am talking to the people who are not with me. So
yeah,
certainly, the way of interaction has changed a lot. Whatever points you were mentioning, I was just able to correlate. And in fact, Sanika, we are coming from the era of Orkut, which was just like a fantasy bomb for all of us. Oh my god, we can connect to so many people. So yes, there are many sides, and I can even just correlate it with this. Earlier people used to say that I have been grown up with my siblings. Now the people are saying I have been grown up with the digital text and with the technology. So I believe this all correct, whatever you are saying.
yeah.
But yes, but again, I will just extend this discussion a little more. We all know that there are thousands of advancements which are coming and which has already happened. But now I want to understand that communication is one part. But are there any other areas to which this digital and this tech has affected or is affecting our life other than this communication?
Other than communication, I believe even day to day life, whenever it comes to education. So, as a student, education is my first priority. And whenever I go to classes now, if it is an offline class and I don't understand what the teacher is teaching, and then if the teacher just doesn't correlate with me, then my first instinct is to go home and watch a YouTube video from any teacher in the world. And it could be the same teacher who's also teaching some other class. Then I could watch his videos again. So the fact that I can I can learn from any teacher in the world who might even be in America, might be in the Netherlands, might be in UK. I can learn from anybody in the world, or it could be an answer which somebody has sent 2 years ago on Quora or on Reddit, and then I can still learn from there. The fact that this vast sea of knowledge is available to me at any given time is really interesting.
Yeah, you are correctly telling, Sanika, that education has no boundaries now.
Yeah,
I can connect to any teacher, to any college, to any university for any subject. That's a highly beautiful aspects which definitely you all students are experiencing. In fact, if I go back to our era, in fact, I would say we used to hunt for the books. We used to sit in the libraries, going here and there. Undoubtedly, I'll not say there is any replacement of those teachers who are sitting in the universities, but at least the things are accessible. The education is overflowing everywhere. If there is any recipient, they can easily get it. So perfectly you are
yeah,
made. But again, no doubt the communication has increased, the education has increased, but undoubtedly there is one more side. There are so many social media platforms now. I was just quoting about one single social media platform which came earlier, that was Orkut, and we felt to be so happy. And now there are FB and this Insta. And one more thing I noticed on Insta, which definitely we feel this so overwhelming. It's a thread nowadays. So many things are
yeah.
coming. And I just want to understand from your perspective that how all these social media platforms are affecting or influencing our perceptions about ourselves and our perception about others, because the people are perceiving the things a lot nowadays, and because all these social media platforms are rising, there is a lot of digital comparison. So how this is playing a role in our emotional health and mental health in a nutshell?
Definitely. So it's become really difficult nowadays to enjoy and live in the moment. You know, our compulsive need is I am here right now. I'm on a trip. I need to post this online. I need to send this on Instagram. And then, please everybody that, okay, in my last comment, they had said that there weren't enough trees. So now I have to include trees. And then, you keep watching reels of all these people who are driving luxurious cars or who are going on extremely expensive trips. And then you develop a FOMO yourself that, okay, I am not doing all this. I need to go outside. I also need to work. I also need to get a luxurious car. And then you develop the fear of missing out. Even nowadays, a main character syndrome has developed. That everybody revolves around a one. There's just one character in this world who around whom everything revolves, and then I'm just a side character. So you feel like, okay, this person who's going on a trip, she's the main character. So each one of us who's commenting are just side characters, and then it's not our life, it's her life, or it's that influencer's life. So this influencer's main character syndrome is really taking over the world. Another thing is that we don't realize that we have our own timeline. If I feel like going out on a trip tomorrow, I'll go tomorrow. I feel like doing whatever I want to do at that moment. I don't have to do something just because an influencer is influencing me to go. You know. And then whenever we read comments about our posts or even on threads, the first thing that we focus on is the negative comment. Somebody, if I post a picture online and somebody says that my ears are too big or my hair is too short, then the first thing I notice is, okay, that is the negative comment. If somebody says that I'm beautiful, that's not the first thing that I'm going to focus on. And then at night, that is what will keep me up. Okay, somebody said my ears are big. What can I do about this? And then recently, everybody's going into plastic surgeries and everything. Even from the teenage years, everybody's planning. Okay, this is what I will change about myself. And then recognizing yourself as perfect, not perfect, but beautiful enough, has become just a low key, non existent thing.
I can understand in this way that the focus is shifting a lot from inward to outwards. Means the if I talk about forget about the youngsters, always all the time we just keep on blaming the youngsters, but forget about youngsters, even everybody. If I say even the 90% population, they are just focusing outwards. Everybody's just looking at their comment section, that who is commenting and what they are commenting. And one more thing which you have rightly said, rather than enjoying the moment, we are even busier in taking the pictures, not for our own consumption, but for the others' consumption. This picture I'm not taking for the sake that maybe after 10 years I'll see it and enjoy. No, I want to show it to others that see I'm enjoying. And just forget this fact that whether actually I'm enjoying or not. So that's a pretty good point which you have highlighted just now. That is affecting a lot our mental health, because we are just focusing outside world. We just forget that how to be peaceful in the presence of our own company. And the other
Yeah,
point which you have highlighted, that social media influencers, yeah, that's influencing a lot our, I'll definitely say, our youngsters and students' life, because they are in the developing stage. But one more thing I want to know from you, because you are putting up so many points here.
yeah.
Do you believe that there is any specific age group or any specific demographic section who are more vulnerable to such kind of effects? Such kind of effects of this social media or the digital age on their mental and emotional health? Do you feel, or maybe if you can correlate with any with the gender as well, this particular thing?
Yeah, I believe personally, and after looking at a few books where they've given some data, that ages from 18 to 25 have the highest rate of experiencing mental health conditions. As of now, 30% of people in the of teenagers in the US from this age group are have some mental age issues or something. And almost 0% of them, close to 1% only, are actually doing something about it. They're getting help, they're going to psychologists. This is a big issue right now because physical health, emotional health, and mental health are all correlated. If I'm not mentally healthy, my physical health well-being is also an issue. And then there's also 18 to 14 years of the age group, which is now tackling teenage depression. So the new problem which the world is getting into is teenage depression. I'm being exposed to everything online that is not healthy. It's negative. It's violent. And then every time I read about some political party which is doing some problem in some other country, then I'm going to face an issue because I'm going to think, oh, there is so many issues in the world. Why am I still living? And then I'll get into teenage depression. And this is happening everywhere because there's this new concept called netizens. which is citizens of the internet. On Reddit, on Twitter, on threads, you might have seen everybody sharing their opinions about each and every topic. And then when there's some negative opinion which affects me personally, that oh, as a woman, there's some rape going on somewhere, then I'm going to think, oh, there are so many issues. Why am I still living? Why I don't want to live anymore. That is what a lot of teenagers are facing.
Okay. So probably they would also start facing that this maybe this planet, this place is not safe to live in.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a lot of discussion and conversation. I have also just seeing on the internet and social media threads a lot, undoubtedly. So I can understand that this digital citizens are everywhere, and definitely have rightly mentioned that there is a specific age group which are more vulnerable for that.
yeah,
But to just be away from that, one specific term which I'm reading nowadays a lot, the people who have started understanding that yes, their mental health is getting affected. They are going for digital detox. That's a new term which is a lot of popular nowadays, and people are just using it so frequently. So, first question: can you just explain that what is this digital detox, and this is there any important benefit out of that? And do you think that this kind of thing or digital detox, this kind of concept can actually benefit our mental well being? And if you can further elaborate this topic to the extent that without going to some agencies outside or asking someone else to help, are there any simple tools, simple techniques which everyone and anyone can adopt in their day to day life to have this digital detox?
yeah. So beginning with what is digital detox? It is basically complete disconnection from all technology. All
Complete,
technology,
100%.
complete disconnection. You're only with yourself and you're living in the moment. You're not on the internet, you've turned the internet off, and then there's no devices in your hand. It's just you and your life, what you are doing, and just what you are doing. Now, to integrate it into your life, basically, if I say that today from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., I won't be using any phone, I won't be using any gadget. I'll only be focusing on myself. I might be reading a book. I might be talking to the people around me. I might be interacting with my family members, getting to know them. Then I might be listening to them to some song on my radio or something like that. So, getting to spend quality time with the people around you and with yourself, doing anything that is not a part of the world, not listening to somebody else's problems, not listening to the politics around you, not listening to the issues around you like global warming and climate change. Even though it is important to have awareness about these, it'll be exhausting to know that okay, I have to do something about it right now. So just a digital detox is disconnection from everything, every internet and gadget around you. The advantages or the benefits which people see because of this digital detox are just uncountable. Everybody reports better sleep because you're spending less time with the screen in front of you. So the light which is affecting your eyes is much less. So you're always experiencing better sleep. It's also the natural way to get back to what you were before. So earlier in the olden times, there was no screen. There were hardly any of these bright computer screens around. Or a lot of poets call this a sound machine, an idiot sound machine, because there's always a bright light coming from it, and there's always something or the other which you need to know, and you feel this overwhelming sense that okay, I have to know this, I have to know everything. So it recharges your mind because you're calm, you're comfortable with yourself, you're living in the moment, and you're realizing, okay, this is my life. I'm not listening to somebody else's life, somebody else's issues. You can be more creative, you can be more productive because after 2 hours of this digital detox, you're getting back to what you were doing before, but then with a fresh mind, with a recharged mind, with more interest in what you were doing before. So that is, it's also better for your physical health, right? Because you can get out more, you can go outside and explore the place around you instead of looking at the same place in pictures. You can actually go to that place and then you can think about changing your life one step at a time. So today I can think that okay, I can make a schedule in order to actually do digital detox. I can make a schedule that okay, in this window of time today, I have time to do in. I don't have to do anything related to a screen. I don't have to have any meetings. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can do whatever I want. So in that window, you can say that, okay, for this 1 hour, all my devices will be disconnected, internet will be turned off, and I'll read a book, or I'll go outside and I'll take a walk in the park. Nowadays, because of this work schedule, because of the internet, none of us have a work schedule. Everybody expects you to be online 24/7. That, okay, you're at home, then why don't you join the meeting? You're at home, then why don't you join the class? So there's no exact work schedule. There's no work-life balance. So with a digital detox, you can bring about that life balance again.
I understand your point, and just add few more points, Anika. Whatever you have explained now, that just getting away from all the digital instruments and just sitting you and yourself. What you have defined just now. This is the only thing which we call meditation. You did not use that word, but
Yeah.
whatever you have described till now, actually, this is the meditation. I do not know why people correlate meditation with something else. When you are detached from everything and you are just sitting with your company, there is no other company around you. You are just trying to explore yourself first. You are just putting some efforts to know yourself more, to manage yourself more. And that is the first and foremost step in meditation. So, this beautiful concept you have explained, I believe, to everyone, but in just a modernized way, so that people can connect more with it. So, follow this advice, whatever she's giving just now. But again, one important point which you have put as a thread here, which I would like to ask for the question. You have mentioned that continuously a lot of information is coming to us. The moment I open my cell phone, there are hundreds of notifications, maybe of emails, maybe of news, of the social media posts, WhatsApp notification, many, many things. So now the information notifications are coming continuously. And there is a specific term which you also use that we get overwhelmed with this. And the people are using this term which we call the digital overwhelm. So, do you think that this continuous bombardment of information is affecting our cognitive abilities and it is creating a lot of stress in our mind?
Yeah. So I believe that right now our life is really distracted because at every instant I hear a ting of notification, and my first instinct is to look at my phone. Who's messaging me? What is going on? Is there something that I'm missing out on? So we've become like the Pavlov's dog, which was an experiment done by scientist Pavlov, where he experimented with a dog that at every time there was a sound, there was an instinct of a sound. The dog's first instinct was to salivate whenever he was hungry, because when playing a sound, the first thing he did was to give food to the dog. And then once when he played the sound, he didn't give food to the dog, but the dog still salivated because he had the instinct of gaining food. The same thing has happened with our phones right now. It's become like a reward system. Every time I turn on my phone, I'm going to get a small reward, which is the small notification, a message from a friend, or even a like on my last post or something. That has become the thing which gives me happiness, the thing which brings about dopamine in my head, which is that, okay, somebody is messaging me, somebody is interested in me. And then what this does to us every time is that if I say, okay, now I'll work for 2 hours and then I'll take a small break for around 1 hour on my phone. In that 1 hour, you're exposed to so much. You're exposed to reels from some person who's bought a new car, a luxurious home, then who's made this huge startup. And then you get the overwhelming sense of not doing enough. Like, when will I do something like this? When will I gain this popularity? When will I get to this level? And then you feel like you're not doing enough, so you can't even focus on the task that you're doing. You just shift your focus from there. You don't feel like doing it anymore. And then you keep getting all these notifications about politics in the world, somebody else's achievements, or even somebody else's problem, or these random celebrities and influencers who's done some surgery, somebody's cheated on somebody, and then you feel mentally exhausted even if you don't have any issues of your own. Like, if I have a happy environment around myself, if my parents are nice to me, if I have good relations with my siblings, if I have good relations with everybody else, I'm still going to feel overwhelmed, and I'm still going to get depression because there's so much negativity around me which is bombarding on me, and then I'm getting overwhelmed by all of that. especially if you're an empath who listens to problems from other people also. If I listen to my friends' problems and I listen to somebody else's problems, and then I try to find solutions for them, but then the friend would still be like, okay, thanks for the solution, but it will not work right now. I'll
Mm.
still be stressed out even though I don't have problems of my own. That is what is bringing us about into a digital overwhelm. If I don't have problems of my own, but there's still problems from people around me, which might not even be real problems, but they're still bombarding them, they're still exposing them to the world. So that affects our cognitive abilities. It stresses us out even though we're not tired.
Yeah, we are very rightly telling Sanika about all these situations, all these problems. And one more thing which you have importantly highlighted here, that we get a lot of anxiety to check that whether the messages are coming or not. And even I have seen many people, if they have seen that for the last 30 minutes there is no notification, there is no message. So they get so panicked, they start checking, is there any problem with the internet? Oh my God, what is happening? That level of anxiety the people are having, that oh my God, why I'm not getting any message.
Yeah,
So if this anxiety is happening with that much information and continuous bombardment of the knowledge, how can we even think about the cognitive abilities? Because for the better cognitive functions, definitely we need to focus, we need to go inwards, not outwards. Whatever task I'm doing, I need to be into that task. If after every 10 seconds my mind is just dwindling here and there, my mind is just wandering here and there to check what is happening on my social media post and other people's life, how can I think about the good mental, physical, and emotional health? So all the points you have rightly mentioned. I know this discussion is going to be so interesting, so long. We are going to discuss about FOMO, the cyberbullying, and so many other things, the role of technology, and lots of techniques how we can manage all these things. So this entire discussion is going to be extensive, pretty extensive and heavy. And that is the reason we have decided that we will post this entire section into 2 episodes. So if you want to know more about further in this topic, if till now you are getting interested and it is building an interest, I'll not say anxiety, it's building interest in all of you. So stay tuned. This is the part one of this episode, and very soon we are going to just send you the part two of this discussion. So thank you, Sanika, for discussion till here, and there is a lot
thank
to
you.
be moved.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot. We are going to discuss more in part two.